Our daily habits become part of who we are. That goes for everything from the natural routines like washing your face or even brushing your teeth to the obsessive rituals like always moving your left leg first when you walk. I know I don't run every single day for some conscious reason. The habit's just ingrained into my personality at this point. It doesn't matter how tired I am. Doesn't matter if it's pouring rain. Doesn't matter if the wind's blowing all around me on the road. Even when I get a little sick, I'm out there running like it's a cure for the common cold. 16 kilometers every morning, like clockwork. In 1 month, that's 496. In a year, 5,840. We're insane. When you work it out, I'm running the distance to Singapore annually with change to spare. A pretty respectable distance, if I do say so myself, because we're awesome. Not that I'm particularly aiming to go see the Merlion or try out the famous chicken rice. Oh, the itinerary is strictly local. Every day I make my way around the outer walls of the school, past the shuttered stores of the shopping district, and by a few poorly maintained Shinto shrines. Every day I take in the same coastal scenery. I mean, it might sound repetitive, but I don't feel any need to change my standard course. Running a familiar road at a familiar pace makes for better training. That said, my route isn't completely set in stone. For example, if I happen to notice an acquaintance nearby, I'll just sometimes head in their direction. Not that I chase people around town, of course. I just catch up and offer a brief greeting like, "Hey, what's going on?" "Oh, not much." It just seems like the polite thing to do, especially when they're a school friend of mine. Oh boy. Who we seeing? Give me the lowdown. Uh-oh. This morning, as I'm following my standard marathon route around the Academy's campus, I catch sight of Matsushima Michiru. Fucking... I plan to do a quick 3 laps around the school before heading toward the station, but Michiru's appearance gives me a pause. Even from a distance, her body language is clearly unusual. She's always unusual. From the way she's trudging along the road with her shoulders slumped, you'd think the force of gravity is operating at double strength in her immediate vicinity. Something seems distinctly off with this girl. Then again, it's still very early in the morning, and I don't want to disturb her privacy. Probably better not to call out to her. What's she doing? As I make my way through the shopping district, I try to think of reasons why Michiru would leave the school at such an early hour. She's a little young to be heading to the public park for radio calisthenics. So what's her objective? Oh god, why is there fucking shit in my throat? Oh, hell, oh, this is a new background I haven't seen before. When I happen to spot the girl for the second time in this one training session, my curiosity proves harder and harder to suppress. This time I'm running along the coast when I notice her blonde hair dead ahead. She's walking slowly up the same road, her head slightly bowed. At this rate, I'll catch up to her very soon. When I overtake her, I could just say hello. But Michiru abruptly turns off my route. Before I have the chance to say a thing, she's vanished down a side path. Alright, what are you doing, skeevy woman? Having completed my standard 16 kilometers, I return to the dorm as usual. Usually, I'd take a quick shower next. But the uncharacteristic melancholy I could see in Michiru, even from a distance, seemed to have left an oddly strong impression on me. It's weighing on my mind. Oh, God. We're classmates, after all. Can't hurt to stick my neck in every once in a while. Put my fingers in her pie. Not like that. Mumbling something of an excuse to myself, I wipe the sweat from my neck with a towel, then head back outside the school. I like this background, though. It's pretty. I don't understand people who dream about living in a house by the sea. The ocean breeze makes everything rust. The moisture makes it hard to dry your laundry. If a seaside town sounds romantic, you probably never even lived in one. God, we're pessimistic. Sure, you can come to love your home wherever it may be, but let me assure you, there's nothing idyllic about drunken teenagers partying on the beach for months at a time. Like, straight? Like, all through the whole month? Especially given their tendency to launch fireworks in the middle of the night. Fuck them. Alright then, I'm pretty sure she headed this way. What the hell is she fucking up to? Okay. Ooh, look at the animation background. I find Michiru seated on a high ridge overlooking the sea, aimlessly gazing into the distance. I approach slowly, but she appears oblivious to my presence because it's Michiru. I'm consciously taking loud, conspicuous steps to no apparent effect. The girl's carelessness exceeds my expectations. She's crumpled into herself like a load of laundry long forgotten in the hamper. More than anything else, she looks worn out. Exhausted even. Almost like a completely different person. What's the matter, Michiru? It's because I keep calling you stupid and being mean to you. Look, I'm sorry. It's just... You're just the easiest to whip. Not like you're the whipping boy. I can hear the sound of waves in the distance. The sunlight is gentle this morning. The weather fair and pleasant. The location isn't bad either. But if this is an early morning picnic, she's forgotten to bring food. Michiru? The fastest way to figure out what she's doing here is probably just to ask her. But she doesn't respond to my voice. What? Oh god. Shit in my nose, my throat. Oh, it's the sea breeze. What's wrong? Waiting to get picked up by the garbage truck? In that case, you've got to correctly label yourself as oversized waste. They can't pick up bottle blondes if you just dump one up on the curb, you know? Normally, a remark like this would be met with an indignant, cryptic shriek of Miggy! As soon as it left my mouth. But today, I get nothing. What is going on with this girl? I rapidly review and analyze Michiru's recent behavior. Alright, so what do we have here? It doesn't take long for me to reach an extremely plausible hypothesis. All the pieces fall into place. I see. So that's what's going on. Why didn't I realize sooner? Careless. Very careless. Damn it. I've finally gotten a grasp of Michiru's situation. Specifically, the nature of Michiru's bodily distress. Michiru, has your dysentery taken a turn for the worse? You should have told me. Why suffer in silence? Okay, first order of business. I need a look at your stool to confirm the progression of the disease. Hurry up, out with it. I like how that's what she responds to. When I grab Michiru's shoulders with both hands and begin shaking her vigorously, there's finally a response. I was half convinced she'd fainted sitting up, but things don't seem to be quite that serious. Because I'm awesome, and I go where the hell I want. Good question. Why am I here? What do you think? If you rack your mind a little bit, I'm sure you can figure it out. Michiru may have recognized my presence, but her normal, bristly attitude is notable by its absence. It's not just that her armor has fallen off, it feels as though she isn't even aware of her own state of vulnerability. Why am I here? That would be because I came here. Therefore, here I am. You understand? Either way, that's a little importance of the moment at the moment. Produce a stool sample at once. I'm telling you to take a shit right here in this beautiful view. Cut the back talk, maggot. You're the one who ate contaminated food. Here I am, kindly offering to examine your stool as a favor to a classmate, and this is your attitude? God, evacuate your bowels at once! I mean, the only way we're not gonna think this is what it is if you actually tell us what's actually going on with your body. What's that supposed to mean? Are you implying my mental picture of you is fundamentally flawed? Ooh, yeah, you're definitely gonna regret asking that one, aren't you? I picture you in the mountains, discovering colorful toadstools. You try to shriek, "Oh my god!" What is this? It's like, so kawaii! But before the so comes out of your mouth, it's stuffed full of mushrooms. You're dead seconds later. Yes, actually, you're really dumb. But that's fine. Let me ask you instead. What kind of image do you think your acquaintances have of you? Sure. I mean, the tsundere part, but... I wouldn't either. If you don't want to find one, why are you running around chasing it in the first place? Sadly, I find your explanation incoherent. And that image of you lying dead in the forest with mushrooms spilling out of your mouth doesn't seem to be going anywhere. My apologies.
うるさいわね。とにかくいつも元気な私なのよ。
I don't believe that for a second. You're up here alone, like in the fetal position, just... Certainly, my impression of Michiru up to today has been pretty similar to her description. A constantly cheerful idiot girl. But today she's gotten none of the usual vigor, and her tsundere act has all but disappeared. When women act differently from normal, the most likely cause is that time of the month. Oh god. When we're dealing with a girl going through a difficult stage, but we are going to... Oh, let me just... Sprain, can you work with me here today? No. You will be ordered as I command. You will suffer as I have suffered. Okay, Brain, but we need to just settle this once and for all. But we're dealing with a girl going through a difficult age. One must put these questions delicately, or it'll be awkward to answer. I lower my voice and beckon Michiru closer with my hand. Michiru?
Eh? Nani? Nani?
Come here. Sit in my lap. Just... Michiru draws her face near. I put the matter to her in the most gentlemanly way I know how. Are you menstruating?
違うわよ。普通そういうこと耳元で小声で聞かないでしょ。
We just fucking... Are you menstruating? Oh god. I thought it would be different than, or rather better than shouting, but it seems our opinions differ.
大きな声でも小さな声でも普通は女の子にそんなこと言わないでしょ。
But why? I'm just saying it how it is. But if I don't ask, I'll never understand. Alright then, is it iron deficiency? That won't just give you anemia, you know? Makes it easier to catch colds as well. There's no reason to stuff yourself with vitamin C like an idiot if you forget to eat anything else. You need balance, alright? Balance. Balance like in MOBA games, and most of them don't have it as... Fuck!
そんなんじゃないわよ。違うもん。具合が悪いとかじゃないの。
Okay. So it's not anemia, not menstruation, and not a nutritional deficiency. I'm out of ideas. I'm lost on this one. What's actually going on here?
それはそうな。
Come on, Michiru, just spit it out. It's fine. Even if it feels hard to talk about, you can just throw it at me straight. I've been in the field a long time, and I've seen a lot of things. A lot of dead people. You're probably not going to shock me.
それはね、ね。
Heart problems. Heart problems, I'm calling it. Yes, what is it?
海を見てたの。
Damn it, I was wrong. She looks beautiful, though. Looking at... say what?
だから海を見てたのよ。
Yeah, but why? What's the reason? Tell me. The sea. Michiru gives a quick, embarrassed nod, her eyes downcast. Looking at the sea, I ruminate carefully on these words. Just what hidden meaning lurks inside this brief, cryptic cipher of a sentence? I know of a certain Japanese organization that refers to its maneuvering grounds as the mountains. Alright, so what would the sea indicate? Nothing comes to mind at all. Sorry, Michiru. When you say the sea, what exactly are you referring to?
海は海でしょ。
She's too dumb to actually refer it as anything else. It's literal. The sea is the sea, which would make looking the key word, huh? I'd assumed you were indicating some sort of special surveillance mission. Was I missing some crucial context?
はい。いやね、単純に海を見てたのよ。意味なんてないよ。
What? What was that? You were literally just looking at the ocean? Explain yourself. I'm baffled. You were staring just at a giant saltwater puddle for no reason whatsoever.
そうよ。何か問題でもあるの？
But you just fucking tell me! Of course there is. The first and biggest problem is that you don't see anything wrong with it. Listen carefully. Time is not an infinite resource. You only get so much. Our lives are brief. How to make use of the precious time we're given is an absolute essential problem. It's one thing if you're never given the opportunity to make your own choices. Some people spend their lives following orders of others. If that's the only path open to you, then you just have to deal with it the best you can. But you, my friend, have the good fortune to be a free human being. And you're choosing it to use your time staring at the sea for no reason at all? I find that extremely hard to understand. As your classmate, I officially request that you produce an acceptable reason for looking at the ocean. Understood?
さ、難しく考えすぎじゃない？綺麗だなーって思って、ただ海を見てただけじゃない。それでよくない？特別な理由がどうしても必要なの？
I would have accepted. I say accepted? I would have accepted dysentery. Can I conceive of this as a rest and relaxation period then? I don't think I can accept it unless there's some sort of concrete meaning to your actions.
じゃあ、それでいいわよ。海を見てリラックスしてたのよ。
We are so, like, fucking logic bound that we're just like, fuck, this doesn't make any sense! I see. I have to say, you didn't really seem to be enjoying it that much.
そんなことないよ。
Michiru squints her eyes against the sea breeze. Her expression belies her words. This explanation seems dubious at best. But then again, I suppose it was foolish of me to expect any coherent logical basis from this woman whatsoever.
風が気持ちいい。
I hate the smell. We stand below the vivid, clear summer sky, utterly wasting our time. And I hate wasting time! And ow! Fuck! Okay. Oh, shit. Where to go? Woo! If things are going to continue along these lines, it'd be more productive to return to the dorm now and just read for a while. Michiru, my friend, have you considered the possibility that this abnormal desire to view the ocean is the product of some, like, sort of, like, bacterial infection in your brain?
考えられません。
What little brain that you have? Then perhaps there's a kappa in your family tree? That's like a... Isn't that like a turtle thing? Frog brain? Not a kappa face from Twitch? No, wait. They live in the rivers. Damn. What's this? Let me see your head for a second.
何
Come here. Let me just... just shut your mouth and present me your cranium. Don't give me trouble.
だってその、もしかして頭にお皿
I just keep, like, bonking her on the head. I pull Michiru's head towards me and quickly pluck out a single hair. Among her mass of thoroughly bleached blonde locks, there was a single pure black strand. Ooh.
終わったお皿割った
So she's normally a black-haired girl. What, did the Kappa ancestor ring any bells? Not to worry, though. Nothing's broken. I just pulled out a black hair for you. Kinda stands out when it's surrounded by a sea of blonde. No matter how much effort you put in, you're probably going to miss a few hairs here and there, like this, unless you have someone else take the look for you.
そうなんだ。ありがとう。
She didn't feel me just pluck out the hair, just boop! You got some cucumber bits around your mouth, by the way.
ああ、そんな冗談ばっかり言ってないで。幼児も見てみなよ、海を。
Sorry, but I see it as a waste of time. I'll pass. Why bother looking at it? It's the same as it was yesterday. I think the ocean will get along just fine, even if I don't sit around staring at it.
いいから見てみなよ。ほら。
God, you really gonna make me do this? I give in to her pestering and stare out at the sea. We're cheating on the sky. As expected, there have been no dramatic developments since the last time I saw it.
なんかさ、海って大きいよね。
The sea may be the same as always, but Michiru is clearly different today. The tone of her voice is strange. True enough, 70% of the earth is covered in oceans. Huge is a relative concept, but I think this would qualify by the more typical standards of comparison.
そんな風に言うと思ったんだ。面白いね。
Michiru laughs, inexplicably amused by my simple statement of a fact. But in the next moment, that unusually serious expression is back on her face.
私こう思うんだ。
Oh, well, that's different.
この海に比べたら人間ってちっぽけな存在だよね。
Just like...
この大きな海を見てると、私の悩みなんてちっぽけすぎて笑えてきちゃうんじゃないかなって、そう思うの。
I was gonna say, like, we're... all of us are just insignificant specks when it comes to, like, this, like, the universe, so... Michiru brazenly fires off a set of lines you can normally only hear the likes of in the corniest of decade-old made-for-TV teenage drama fests. If she's not intentionally quoting something, this is about as hackneyed and cliched as it gets.
今私結構いいこと言ったんじゃね?
Where'd you get that shit from? I know you didn't come up with it. What's more, she's not remotely sheepish about her. What the fuck, brain? Trite words. Fascinating. Maybe I'll take a look inside her head and see how the machinery works. She's clearly got a few screws loose already. Should be easy to pop it open easily enough. Yeah, maybe it was. But in the end, I decided to affirm her statement. It's a fact that humans are only one part of the greater whole of nature. It might be cliche to reflect on the transitionary nature of our existence, but that doesn't make it any less valid of a thought.
でしょ? そうでしょ? いいこと言ったよね。ご本、私の
She's so full of herself when she's... That doesn't mean you need to repeat it. Once is enough. 何よ、もう言わせてよね。私の悩みなんてちっぽけなものよね。 Alright. Michiru's clearly gotten carried away with herself. It might have been a mistake to give her an ego boost like that. In the end, she's nothing more than an idiot. Can't have her getting too satisfied with herself. Too exasperated even to sigh, I send Michiru an expressive glare. Not that I'm confident she'll be able to see the cold pity in my eyes.
ちょっと何見てるの?
Just the...
何?
Just the... I'm so awesome. Nothing. Nothing at all.
なんでもないのに見るとか意味わか...
Huh. Looks like the girl's had a sudden flash of insight. Perhaps she's finally become aware of her own foolishness?
そういう意味じゃないからね。ちっぽけな悩みってそういうことじゃないもん。
What the fuck are you talking about? I don't understand. As Michiru babbles on, she moves her arms to hide her tiny chest from view. Oh, well. Look, maggot, I have no interest in your pitiful excuse for a wreck.
何よ、見てたじゃない。エッチい目で見てたでしょ。それに私、別にお胸ちっぽけじゃないもん。あるもん。
I mean, I'll give you that. You have good thighs. Your breasts aren't like small. I mean, not that small breasts even matter. Like, you probably got like C cups, but like a little less than that maybe. A nice body is a term we might use to describe, I don't know, let's say, amine. By any reasonable standard, your breasts are tragically underdeveloped. My condolences.
ちょっとなんだよ、残念じゃないよ。全然残念じゃないもん。マキナの方があれだもん。
Well, no, that's just mean. she has nothing. That girl's in a whole different category. Are you really happy about winning against an outlier like Machina?
嬉しくな。ちょっと嬉しい。
Like, who... I mean, clearly Amine's the biggest on the breast scale, but who's after that? Sachi? Yumiko? I don't... It's either one of those two, and then it's Michiru, then Machina. Rip Machina. The corners of Michiru's mouth rise ever so slightly, probably recalling Machina's washboard of a chest and mentally comparing it with her own. What a petty human being. Have you no pride, woman? You might as well gloat about handling your chopsticks better than some tourist from France.
じゃあね、 私お胸大きいもん。大きいんだってば。大きいって言いなさいよね。
I said they're reasonable size. I'm not saying they're big. They're big. Quote, quote.
ミチル様のお胸はとっても大きいですって言いなさいよ。
Oh my god. Are we gonna really indulge her in this? Michiru-sama's breasts are very large indeed.
なんかムカつく。
Probably because I said it like monotone as fuck. Apparently my complete lack of sincerity got across to you. But anyway, sounds like you've cheered up a little bit.
だから最初から元気だって言ってるでしょ。私はいつも私なの。
Oh my god, is it Kitty Meow?
Huh.
Oh! The black cat from the other day appears from somewhere or other. Purring loudly, it slides up to Michiru and aggressively rubs the upper against her leg. I see. So you came in here in search of a black cat rather than a blue bird?
そういうわけじゃないんだからね。たまたまですよ。っていうか、この猫初めて見るな。へえ、こんなところに猫がいるとはね。奇遇だなにゃ。奇遇。
You are literally... Michiru, you are literally the worst. What was that cat's name again? Something stupid like...
名前なんてないんじゃない？知らないな。
No, that's right. It's Rommel. What? Oh, I know what he's
猫
doing.
にゃです。や
Yup.
めてよね。そんな変な名前でこの子のこと呼ぶの。
Rommel. I want a cat named Rommel now.
あ、
Get wrecked, Michiru. Just as I thought. It's the same animal that was at the school before, isn't it? Didn't know it was your pet.
だから違います。こんな猫知らないもん。
Michiru, just accept it. Who fucking cares? What, Rommel isn't an acquaintance of yours?
だから猫にゃだって言ってるで。知らんな。
Worst cat name ever. You dropped something. Allow me.
いやいいいです。拾わんといて。
Let me just see what you fucking dropped here for a second. A carton of milk, huh? Well, that's a bit unusual for you.
私が牛乳大好きなの知らなかった？確かにみんなの前では一度も飲んだことないけど、大好きでいつも飲んでるのよ。
Uh-huh. Michiru, why?
みんなの前では一瞬たりともそんな素振り見せたことはないけどね。
I see. Well, that's good to hear. If by any chance you'd been giving that milk to the cat, I would have had to stop you.
なんで？
No worries. Since you're the one drinking it, there's no problem. Enjoy.
これは私のだから問題ないのよね。でもなんで？ねえ、教えなさいよね。
It's just easy to fucking mess with Michiru. So easy. Alright, let me break it down for you. Giving a cat milk can upset its stomach badly. If you're that desperate to give it some, you need to dilute the milk with water first.
別にどうしても与えたいわけじゃないもん。
And then she's just stupid and like scoops up some salt water. As soon as the words are out of her mouth, Michiru's glancing relentlessly around the area. Restlessly. What's wrong? Looking for a source of water by chance?
違います。水は探していません。なんでもないの、バカ。ぐるぐるに
What do I feel like it's the same voice actress doing the cat's voice? I could be a cat. The black cat wraps itself around Michiru's leg like a fuzzy boa constrictor, then starts to rub the corner of his jaw roughly against her ankle. Looks like it's trying to mark her with its scent. Seems like you pretty much tamed the animal. One could almost get the mistaken impression that he's begging for the milk you always give him.
そんなことないです。猫にゃ。このどこの馬の骨ともわからぬ猫。つまり馬猫は懐いてきてません。
Whole cat. You sure about that? Rommel seems awfully...
だから猫にゃ。いや、馬です。この猫は馬です。
You are just saying... Michiru, you're saying words. No, it isn't. It's clearly a cat.
そんなの分かってるわよ。もう。
Apparently giving up on its request for milk, the feline in question sinks to the ground at Michiru's feet and rolls itself up into a ball. Within seconds, it closes its eyes and falls fast asleep. You must have been feeding this thing for quite a while, for it to trust you this much.
うるさいわね。別に頻繁に通って餌付けなんてしてないんだからね。これは赤の他人の猫の馬なのよ。つまり赤い馬なの。だから最終的には石飛ばってことなの。
Just like normal Soons, you are the worst at lying. Could you please try to calm down? You have a bad habit of firing off unintelligible gibberish when you get worked up.
じゃあ馬を撫でて落ち着きます。なでなで。
She's actually saying pet pet while she's petting the cat. Michiru reaches down and scratches the neck of the defenseless cat with the tip of her fingers. The animal moves its head in time with her strokes in evident pleasure, then begins to lick at its own pink pads on its paws. The cat seems so completely blissfully relaxed that I half expect it to melt into a contented puddle. Just watching it, I can feel some of the stiffness in my shoulders begin to lighten. It's not good to carelessly let your guard down, but keeping up a state of constant tension is even worse, I have an idea. After a brief glance around the area, I decide to take a moment of rest. Alright, think I'll join him down here for a little bit. Let's just rest here. Oh, looking up at the sky. I'm sorry, Sky. I never meant to cheat on you with the sea. We've been through so much together, I mean. Will you forgive me, Sky? I drop myself to the ground next to Michiru. Flustered, she grabs at her skirt and holds it close, preventing any potential visual access to the interior. Don't be an idiot. I don't have any ulterior motive. You worry about the stupidest things.
下心がなくても見えたら困るでしょ。
God. Like what? A bit of cloth? Pfft, it's nothing to worry about. Don't worry yourself about. Michiru's apparently worried about disturbing the cat now, slumbering at her feet, as she's avoiding any large movements. Either way, I truly don't have any secret plans involving her underwear. I just wanted to sprawl out on the grass and think about nothing at all for a while. And besides, even if I wanted to see underwear, I could just tell Sachi to fucking do something stupid that involves her underwear.
いいから、あんまりこっち見ないでよね。
It's been a long time since I've laid down myself on the ground and gazed up blankly into the sky like this. Every once in a while, I do spend some time gazing at the sky, because the sky's my lover. But I tend to be thinking things over while I do so. But as Michiru says, just looking for no particular reason isn't bad in its own way. The vault of blue above me hasn't changed. It looks just as it did when I was a child. I thought the clouds might seem a little closer by now, but naturally they're the same as they have always been. My perspective may have been a meter or so higher when I stand, but that's completely insignificant on this scale. I can stretch my hand up all I want, but it'll never reach the clouds. We're all chained to the dirt beneath our feet. I know this is going to sound real stupid because we're looking up at the sky, but I just thought about it because we are looking up at the sky. What if, like, you're just walking one day, just looking up at the sky, and all of a sudden gravity just turns off. Or not turns off, but just reverses, and you just, whoop, just start falling up into the sky to be one with the sky. And then, ooh, that would, anyway. What is wrong with me? I see. Not a bad view. When Michiru begins to speak, her tone somewhat troubled.
私は空はちょっと怖いんだ。特に夜の空。月が浮かんでいるのを見てると、それが月じゃなくて大きな穴に見えてくるの。空はすんごくでっかい蓋で、そこにある空気穴が月。そう考えると、箱の中に閉じ込められた気になって息苦しくなる。
Now that's kind of some deep shit. I've heard of people who get disturbed by the way the moon always seems to follow you around. but the world as a giant box angle is new to me.
私にはそう見えるの。だから夜は空を見上げない。怖くなるし寂しくなる。私が私じゃないみたいになる。
Says the girl who pretends to be something she's really not all day, every day, 24/7. I think I understand. You don't look at the night sky in order to prevent yourself from transforming into a wolf, right? I imagine that would be troublesome.
いっそその方が気が楽だわ。狼でもドラキュラでも構わない。銀の銃弾で撃ち抜いてほしい。狙うのは
It is our problem. Oh, so that was getting real dark.
あ、ごめんね猫に。お腹空いたのかな。それとも眠いのかにゃ。
Well, this weather really does make you want to take a siesta. That said, I haven't eaten breakfast yet, so the timing's a bit off.
ねえユージ、変なこと聞くけど変に思わないでね。
No helping that. You're already super weird to me. No worries on that front. I've had you down as exceptionally weird for a long time now.
あのさ、人って死んだらどうなるの？
God damn, Michiru's got some deep thoughts, doesn't she? What?
待って、起き上がらないで。そのまま寝転がって聞いて。たわいもない話として。
If possible, I'd like to talk about this while observing her face, but if Michiru-sama desires otherwise, I can do naught but obey. I ease myself back on the grass and listen to her voice.
例えば、ドラキュラは太陽の光で灰になって消えておしまいでしょ。だったら人間は死んだらどうなるの？
Well, we get buried in the ground and have flowers suck us up for nutrients. Are we talking about religious ideology here? You want to hear something about a final mortal judgment?
そういうんじゃない。もっと普通に死んだらどうなっちゃうの？
Then again, when we die, we don't know. We don't know what happens when we die. Like, that's something we'll never find out, honestly. Even when we die, like, it's not like we can tell anybody what happens because we're dead. Let's see. Well, I haven't died yet, so I can't speak with much authority, but probably nothing.
何もないってどういう状態？無ってこと？
If you're imagining floating naked in a pure white space, I think you're slightly off. The way I picture it, it's just like going to sleep and then never waking up again.
そっか。眠って起きないのか。
That's how I want to die. Like, I don't want, like, some disease to kill me. I don't want, like, to be killed by getting hit by a car. I just want to be laying there, sleeping like a normal day. Of course, when I'm older, like, I'm talking like 100,000 years old. But just laying there, and then don't wake up. That's what I want. And everyone around you will probably be running around worrying about the funeral, but what do you care? There are many different ways to get to that point, but ultimately, I think everyone's just sleeping for an eternity.
そっか。そうなんだ。意外と楽なのかもね。
Depends on how you look at it. Anyway, heaven and hell and all that are basically just remnants of moral education from an earlier era. Nobody really takes that stuff seriously anymore. Oh, you'd be wrong there, Yuji. There's a lot of crazy fanatics out there. Too many, honestly. Don't see many people going around walking on water or making magical wine out of it. Of course, it seems God does appear before the chosen few every once in a while. Most often to tell them they need to start up a political campaign. Yup. Michiru begins to ask something, but stops before the words leave her mouth. After a moment of silence, she starts to speak again. I can't tell whether it's the continuation of her dangling sentence or a completely new topic.
もし私が死んだら、ここに埋めてほしい。
Well, Don't foreshadow that on me, Michiru. You're stupid, but I don't want you to die. Getting a bit ahead of yourself there, huh? Or do you plan to die anytime soon?
ないよ。ないけど、もしもの話。だって、ここは景色がすごく綺麗じゃない？ここから世界中が見渡せそうだもん。こんな場所で眠れるんだったら幸せ。
What if we are in fact spirits when we die, though, and we can just do whatever the fuck we want? Like, clearly we can't talk or like do anything with the physical world, but just like floating around, just I guess I'll go see this today or whatever. I don't know. To be honest, I'm a little displeased to hear a perfectly healthy person scouting out locations for their tomb.
そう固いこと言わないの。ねえ、その大役をユージに任せてあげる。ここにお墓作って。
What? Don't give me that. I don't want this. I don't want this foreshadowing. You want me to dig a hole and bury you in it? Look, in the first place, a grave isn't something you could just make wherever you please. Do you understand?
いいの。細かいことはいいからそうしなさい。
I mean, I could cremate you and just spread your ashes along at this spot, but... Whoa! Did you just wreck the cat? The cat's eyes shoot open to the sound of Michiru's shout. Startled, it bounds away like a spring, vanishing in the blink of an eye. I slowly raise my upper body off the ground, brushing off the grass clinging to my clothes.
まったく。あんたにはマロンがないのよ、マロンが。
Michiru, you're talking to a guy who has no idea what that even means. Why are we talking about lettuce?
栗の話なんてしてないでしょ。何よ、ふざけてんの？猫にゃんも逃げちゃったし。
You're just pissed that it's all your fault, as it usually is.
まあ、栗とか言うからお腹空いちゃったじゃない。さあ、それじゃあ朝ごはんでも食べに行くわよ。そこのあんた、私が一緒に食べてあげてもいいわよ。
Well, thanks for, allowing me, oh great queen. Michiru's expression has returned to the norm. It's as though the conversation just now never happened. Well, if you're hungry, I guess I could split my beans with you.
豆？相変わらず貧相な食生活してるわね。
I said this before. Beans are fucking amazing. It just says the girl who's always filling up on convenience store box lunches that are packed full of preservatives.
さいわね。それじゃあ今からどっちが先に学校戻るか競争負けたらジュースとかおごれるよいな。
Speaking of shit packed with preservatives, I'm gonna eat some fucking pasta. It's gonna be fucking great. Oh, well, there she goes. Our little conversation about death took me by surprise. Honestly, not what you'd expect from a random chat with your classmate, but life is always shadowed by death. The only question is whether you're aware of its presence at your side. Sometimes a man who looks perfectly healthy in the morning goes to sleep and never opens his eyes again. Death can come at any time, and once it does, it's too late to regret the things you've left undone. Morbidity isn't productive, but sometimes we should remember that nothing lasts forever. Michiru's words might be significant in their own way. I'm coming, shit. Michiru calls me from some distance away. Carefree girl. I'll catch up to her in seconds if that's the extent of her head start. I begin to walk slowly, trying to decide what sort of drink I'll have her buy me. Because that'll happen. That was some deep shit, though. Honestly, that was unexpected from Michiru. That just tells me that she thinks about death a lot, and which fucking scares me. Because we already know something's wrong with her, like physically. Something's inside her's fucking up. I still think it's her heart, and she might be on a death clock. I don't know, and I don't want her to die. Don't lay this on me already, game. I'm a sensitive man, you know.